Hello friends, hope you have a nice day and welcome to my new blog. Today we discuss about what is budget. So budget is a plan of operations to be carried out during a specified feature period, and this plan comprises all aspects of business activities and summarizes the results of carrying out this plan. So the word budget is derived from a French word Bougette, responding a leather punch into which funds were appropriate to meet the anticipated expenses. However, the word budget in the case of business enterprises refers to a plan in the form of quantitative and financial statements also of the firm about the work to be done by the executives and their officials. The Chartered Institute of Management Accounts, that is CIMA London, has therefore defined budget as a financial and or quantitative statement prepared and approved prior to a defined period of time of the policy to be pursued during that period for the purpose of attaining a given objective. It may include income, expenditure, and the employment of capital. So, this is a comprehensive definition of budget which reveals some of the important features of a budget. So, John R. Bartolais has viewed the budget as a forecast in details of the results of an officially recognized program of operation based on the highest responsible expected operating efficiency. That means the budgets incorporate the forecast about the such revenue, sales, expenses, purchases, etc. Now, what is budget? What's the meaning of budget? The definition of budget, objectives of budget, purpose, features, tips, sales budget, zero-based budgeting, control ratio, limitations, and more. Now, first of all, discuss about what is budget and meaning and definition. The word budget is derived from a French word, as I mentioned earlier. So, however, the word budget in the case budget enterprises refers to a plan in the form of quantitative and financial statements of the firm about the work to be done by the executives and their officials, as I mentioned earlier. So, anyhow, it's a guide for a features or in order to plan for the further or future activities, it's a necessary to undertake and execute a exhaustive survey of the past events, present happening, and the future things, because past experience of the company provides a good, should, and sound base for the future plan of actions. So, past is the father of present, and to a greater extent, present is the guide of future. On the basis of these, a forecast is made about the future. So, work towards a dream job. So, John R. Bartolai has viewed that the budget as a forecast in details of the results of an officially recognized program of operation based on a highest responsible expected operating efficiency. That means the budgets incorporate the forecast about the sales, revenue, expenses, purchases, etc. So Gordon and Schilling law have gone a step further to set budget as a basis for the subsequent evaluations for performance. In brief, budget is a plan of operations to be carried out during a specified features period, and this plan compromises all aspects of businesses activities and summarizes the results of carrying out these plans also. Now, what is budget? Now we discuss about this. What's the objectives of budgetary control? First of all, we discuss about planning. So it's an important managerial function. Every enterprise should plan in advance what it must do and how it will achieve it, while determining the factors that will help achieve the target. The enterprise should anticipate many problems which would make the processes of reaching the target and difficult. Now, solutions of such problems can be sought through carefully study well in advance, hence budgeting forces management to think in advance also, to anticipate and prepare for contingencies also. Now, number two, coordination. It involves perfect balancing of all factors and coordinating the efforts put together by different departments and employees to achieve the target of the organizations. The coordinations help each department to work in harmony with others, each department to know the specific role that is has to play to achieve the organizational goals, and to avoid overlapping the activities and wastage of time and labor also. Effective planning and organization helps to achieve coordination. Purchase managers should integrate their plan with the production requirement, and production managers should plan manpower and facilities according to the sales of budget. Now, communication, number 3 point. A budget is a communicating device. The goals of the organization cannot be achieved unless its employees are aware of the organizational goals and objectives of budget centers. So, budgets effectively communicate this information to the employees. Copies of the budget should be made available to all management personnel to make them understand the plan and policies of the organization, and also about the restrictions to which the organization is expected to adhere. Maximum amount that can be spent on maintenance and advertisement, etc., for the organization. Now, motivation, number 4. Employees will be motivated if they actively participate in budget preparations, and if they feel that their personnel interests are closely associated with the success of the organizational plan. So the now degree of motivation of the employees depends on how the employees are mentally and physically involved in the processes of budgeting of organization. Number 5, control. The meanings keeping a constant watch over the actions and taking corrective actions as and when deviations from the planned courses of action occur. Thus, all events are directed to conform to plan. Number 6, approved plan. A master budget gives an approved summary of results expected from the proposed plan of operations. It includes all the functions of the organizations and serves a guide to all departmental heads and executives also. Now, what is budget? What is its purpose? Now we discuss about this. Budget serves as a tool of planning and control. If the production manager has a budget of producing, say, 10,000 units of the month of the January, his performance is evaluated based on the number of units produced during that particular period. Top level management delegates the authority to the production managers and empowers them so that they can achieve their targets also. Now, budgetary control is defined as the processes of formulating budgets for a future or further period and measuring the actual performance as against the budgets and taking remedial measures, if any, for effective performance in organizations. If they are important, they will be considered, or otherwise they are dropped. In other words, the budget for each item starts from zero. Costs are calculated afresh based on the requirements for the budget period. It avoids the tendency of the taking of the previous data as a base to work for the future. Now, if there is a requirement, then only provisions are made, otherwise they are not considered. So these make the manager plan each program package afresh. Essential features of budget. Essential features of budgets are: budget is a comprehensive and coordinated plan of action, and it is based on the objectives which the enterprises aims to achieve during the plan period or budget period, as we all know. So budget is expressed in quantitative and financial terms. Budget is a plan for the operations and resources of the company, and budget is always for a future or for the specific future period. Now, importance of budgeting. The importance of budgeting are: number one, planning, setting up of budget objective and proper organizations of various factors is known as planning. So budget play an important role in the attainment of the determined objectives also. So production cost, research, etc. helps the attainment of objectives related to budget planning. Now control. Control is very essential for the growth of businesses. Functions of control can be performed better with the help of budget. Under it, targets, objectives and policies are ascertained and reasons for various are located and efforts are made to control them. Number three, coordinations. It is a system under which every department functions for its own interest, and for that purpose mutual cooperations is required. Budgeting helps in briefing coordinations amongst various business activities in organizations. Now, important aspects of budgetary control system. Now we discuss about this. What is the important aspects of budgetary control system? In order to introduce a budgetary control system, it is necessary for the organizations to consider and decide about the following. These can therefore be called prerequisites for the introductions of an effective budgetary control system. The important aspects to be considered are identified, now followed by a brief analysis of the same. Number one, budgetary centers. Number two, organization chart. Number three, budget committee. Number four, budget manual. Number five, budget period. There are the 5 points in the organizations for budgetary control, and last not the least, number 6, principal budget factor, budget center also. So number 1, budget centers. Now we discuss about this. Budget center represents a part or a sections of a organizations for which budget is prepared and where budgetary control measures are applied. It may be in the form of a division or department or sections or processes of any other convenient form. CIMA London defines budget centers as the sections of the organizations of the undertaking defined for the purposes and the budgetary control also. That means in an understanding one can find a number of budget centers, and it facilitates the preparation of various budgets for various budget centers with the help of the head of these centers. So for this instance, the production department may be considered as a budget center. The budget for the production department wise production budget is prepared is consultations with the production manager also. In the same way, the sales department may be recognized as a budget center, and the sales budget may be prepared and finalized after consulting the sales manager, as it is this manager who has to achieve this sales target also. It is therefore necessary to determine the number of a budget centers, clearly demarcating this area of operations and coverage also. Now, organizational chart. This is also an important factor in budgetary organizations. So in order to introduce a budgetary control system, the company should have a clear organizational structure explaining clearly the position of the each number in the organizational hierarchy and his relationship with other members of the budget committee. Of course, authority and the responsibility of the members differ from one company to another. It depends on the company, that I mean to say. And while specifying the duties and responsibilities of the members, it is necessary to ensure that there is a clear-cut divisions of responsibility and authority, and there is no overlapping. This creates an environment or wherein all the persons know their responsibility and work as a team in organizations and try to achieve the desired target results in organizations for the success of the organizations. So it may be noted that here that the budget officer, also called budget controller, also plays an important role in the successful introductions of the budgetary control system, because he acts as a link among all the functions, department heads coordinating various functions and or functional heads. He is expected to provide the requisite details about the past performance and also the targets for the budget period also. In brief, has to perform the following functions: help the functional managers in preparing the functional budget by providing the necessary data, details about past performance of the respective department's current targets, what does the company expects from the department to achieve its current target, etc. The extending the requisite assistance. So receive the data or draft functional budgets from the functional managers also and take necessary steps to get them finalized and approved by the top management, that is board of directors, chairman and managing director, that is MD. Now prepare the master budget after taking into account different functional budgets. Receive the details about the actual performance on continuous basis for the department. Compare them with the targets set for them in the budgets. Find out the various or variations, analyze and probably reasons, dividing them into avoidable and unavoidable reasons, etc. Prepare a report based on the comparisons of actual performance with the budgeted and also incorporating the finding of this analysis and the reasons for various variations and the suggested revisions in the budgets for the attention of the management, and monitor the working of the department on a continuous basis. That to entire exercise shall be directed towards achieving the target results. Now budget committee. This is the committee comprising all the executives in charge of major functions and entrusted with the preparations and finalizations of the budgets for various centers and also for the whole company, called master budget. Usually the chief executive of the organizations will be the chairman of the committee, and the accounts officer serves as the budget officer. All the functional manager and the important executives are the members of the committee. But in the case of small scale organization, the entire work may be entrusted to an individual, normally chief of the organizations, and assisted by the accounts officer also. The committee requests the functional managers to prepare and submit to it budgets for their respective departments. After the receipt of this budget, the committee undertakes a detailed analysis of the same and make necessary revision, modifications, adjustment in consultations with the functional managers. Then it coordinates all the budgets and prepare the master budget. So once these budgets are approved by the committee and they are implemented, further it is also entrusted with the responsibility of monitoring the work and different budget centers to ensure that they are working in accordance with the budget. So they also receive the reports of the actual performance from the centers, compare them with the budgeted performance and find out how far the center have achieved their targets. On the basis of these, the committee advises the budget centers about the remedial measures if necessary. In brief, the important functions of the budget committee are as follows. Now we discuss about these. Provisions of the past details relating to the performance, cost, etc. to the heads of the departments to enable them to prepare them departmental budgets. Receive and review the departmental and functional budgets in the light of the company's policy and the objectives, including the targets also, to approve the functional and departmental budgets with necessary modifications. Of course, the modifications, if any, in the functional budget shall be made in consultations with the functional managers. Prepare and finalize the master budget on the basis of the functional departments' budgets. Of course, the draft manager budget together with all the functional budgets shall be placed before the board of director for approval with or without any modifications. Now receive the data from different departments about the actual performance regularly and monitor their performance to ensure that they are functionally properly, and compare the actual performance with the budgeted and find out the difference, if any. Analyze the reasons for the difference in the results and recommended the remedial measures. Now, budget manual. Budget manual is a written document which guided and helps the executives in the preparations and executions of budget. Further, it spells out the duties and responsibilities of various executives and also the interrelationship among themselves. The Institute of Cost and Works Accounts of India has therefore defined budget manuals as a document which sets out the responsibilities of the persons engaged in the routine of and the forms and records required for budgetary control also. Now the following aspects are normally covered in the budget manual. A brief explanations about the objectives, defines or benefits and the principles of budgetary control system. A clear and unambiguous explanations of the procedure to the followed not only for the preparations of budget but also throughout the system. The dates and which the functional manager have to finalize and submit their draft budgets, and organizational chart clearly spelling out the duties and responsibilities of each members of the management team and relationship each other. This is very essential for a manager to know precisely whom he should or would obey and whom he can command, and also his position in this organization. Purpose, format, number of the copies and frequently of each reports and statements also. Spelling out of accounts code in use, the issues which shall be settled only with the consent of the top management and or functional managers also. Frequently format, constant, etc. of performance reports from the department of the budget committee, etc. The budget manual is normally prepared in the form of the loose leaf so that alternatives, modification, etc. can be incorporated easily whenever the changes are necessary. It also facilitates the handling over of the relevant portions to the executives whenever they ask for the same. Now, budget period. One of the year of the prerequisites for the preparation of budgets is the decisions about the budget period. This period represents the length of the period for which the budget is to be prepared. Through it is influenced by a number of factors, the nature of business and the degree of control which his company wishes to exercise play a decisive or role in deciding the budget period. So that's for the video, my friends. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like and share my channel. Thanks a lot for watching my videos.